Make a date with Rev Dr Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
Hello, this is Rev Dr Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. And Living Streams, we meet behind the trade fair behind Zenith College. Worship with us on Sundays, 7 to 9 first service, and 10 to 12 on the second service. And then on Wednesdays, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Come worship with us. Now, this morning, I'd like to capture my thoughts with the words, Murderous died. And you know, I sometimes the personalities in the Bible mesmerize me. I'm really mesmerized. I'm really mystified by some of the things that happen. And when I begin to look into human character and into human intentions and human dealings and the things that humanity is capable of, I agree with what God says, that the heart of man, who can know it? You know. Now, in Genesis chapter 4, there's a story there of Cain and Abel, two brothers from the same womb. Two brothers from the same womb. Two brothers from the same womb. And the Bible said Cain was the elder and Abel was the younger. And Cain was a farmer, but Abel was a shepherd. That is, he looks after livestock. And Cain plants food from the ground, a tiller of the soil, and something like that. And then the Bible said both of them decided to bring offering. Both of them decided to bring sacrifice to God. God never asked them, but they decided, let's be thankful to God. Let's appreciate what God is. Let's bring our sacrifice of thanksgiving. Let's bring something to Him. It was a choice by the two of them. And each and every one of them also had the choice as to what to bring. And the Bible says, whereas Cain offered something that was from the soil or something like that, Abel offered blood. That is, Abel made a sacrifice that was painful. That was a sacrifice that stemmed out of pain, that stemmed out of discomfort, that stemmed out of challenge. I mean, that was Abel. And if you say it's not Abel's challenge, of course it was the sheep's challenge. Ma, ba, ba, ba. You get it? Yeah, because the sheep was going to be slaughtered. So Abel offered something of blood. But as for Cain, he offered something that was just... and then the Bible says something. You know, God is no respecter of persons, but God is a respecter of sacrifice. And God had respect of Cain's sacrifice. And then the issue started. Cain, upon seeing that Abel's sacrifice had been received by God, he was angry. And his anger was that, why wasn't his accepted? And he didn't find time to answer the question. He began to nurse murderous intent. He began to be jealous. His jealousy drove him into a rage, and his rage drove him into murder. He slaughtered his brother. He killed his brother. Murderous died. It started with first anger that mine was not accepted, and then jealousy that mine was not accepted, looking upon somebody else's and blaming the person for where you are, and blaming somebody for what has befallen you, blaming somebody for what is going on in your life, blaming somebody for your own mess, letting somebody else take the responsibility for where you are. We all had the chance to go to school. You chose to play truant. We all had the chance to go to school. You decided to mess up with your education. And therefore, you are pushing trucks, not because of somebody's fault, but you're pushing trucks because by choice, you refuse the stepping stones that will take you high, or stepping stones to success. Even if you didn't go to school, you refuse to dream beyond the four corners of your father's house, or beyond the four corners of your mother's house. So Cain's mistake was he was blaming his mistake on Abel's aptitude. Abel's, pursuit of excellence. Cain began to do it, and then he began to nurse murderous intent. Now, look, this is very serious. And you'll be very, very surprised what jealousy and envy can do to you. They are diets that you must run away from. They are diets. Take a fast. Don't feast on it. Take a fast with it. Abstain from it. And the Bible said Cain began to blame. And so he began to contemplate that if I do away with Abel, my situation would improve. Doing away with the person will not improve your situation. Doing away with the person will rather increase your guilt. Doing away with the person will rather increase your pain. Because you committed murder, you sacrificed the person, you slandered the person, you said all things about the person, no, and still you get it. If the person should stay or go away, your plight will not change, your situation will not change, your situation remains the same. And even God warned him and said, I know what your heart is contemplating. And God said, if you do well, won't you be applauded? If you do well, won't your well-doing be appreciated? God spoke to Cain, but his focus was Abel. His focus was on the success of Abel. His focus was on the promotion of Abel. His focus was on the excellence of Abel. Said that he wasn't looking deep into himself. He blamed Abel for his failure. And as a result of it, murdered him. Killed him. You know, sometimes we don't take a knife to cut somebody. What we say about the person. Our jealousy and our envy makes us go to town on them, slander them and say things about them that we know are not true. But our jealousy and our envy becomes the fuel that drives us to murder their character, assassinate their character, kill their integrity, remove their feathers like a peacock's feathers, and leave them high and dry, hanging. That's the pity. These are murderous diets. Envy and jealousy. Take a good look into yourself and find out where you are at, where you are at, and why you are at where you are at. Take a good look into yourself and find out. And sometimes when you do that, you'll be reminded that it's not the person, it's you. Stop feasting on murderous diets. Well, the choice is yours. I can't do much with that. See you later.